So, good day everyone. I am Lourdes Bipalaran and today I will be discussed under the topic of Unit 2, which is the foundations of curriculum. And I'll be tackling the historical sociological foundations. So, for the objectives of this lesson, at the end of the lesson, the students will be able to, for key, describe the impact of historical sociological foundations in the curriculum development. And for S, create a list of historical sociological foundations in the Philippine education context. And for A, display open communication and empathy by exploring sentiment related to historical sociological foundations. So let us define first what is historical sociological foundations or what is historical sociological. So from the word itself, historical, it comes from the word or from the root word Greek historia, which means a learning by inquiry of history, while sociological is an adjective form of sociology and is used to describe something that is related to or influenced by the principles, methods, or concepts of sociology. So basically, the concept of historical sociological foundations and curriculum refers to the historical and sociological factors and influences that have shaped the development of educational curricula over time. So let us now first tackle the pre-Spanish era. So before Spanish colonization in the 16th century, the Philippines had an informal education system rooted in community life. So learning was part of daily life, shared through oral methods like storytelling, legends, and songs, guided by elders. So baybayin served as the indigenous script for writing. So education was informal, happening within communities and families. So some of the elders taught through stories, songs, and legends, passing on knowledge and tradition. So they also use a writing system called baybayin in order to record information. And it was a time of rich cultural learning and knowledge sharing within the Filipino communities or the Filipino people. Next is the introduction of the Western or European system of education. So, Spanish colonization brought their education system to the Philippines, focusing on their Christian conversion. So, religion became a compulsory at all levels, taught in the parochial school where native children learned reading, writing, math, practical skills, and religion. So the Spanish introduced a formal education system to the Philippines that was closely tied to religious indoctrination. So this system aimed to instill Christian values and beliefs while also providing basic literacy and practical skills. Next is the education under the Americans. Upon arriving in the Philippines, the United States aimed to educate Filipinos in self-governance. They opened schools in Manila in 1898 with English instruction and initiated free primary education in 1901. So this effort produced future leaders as Filipinos eagerly pursued education in both public and private institutions. So this commitment to education fostered a strong desire for learning among Filipinos or among Filipino people. So leading to a surge in enrollment in both public and private institutions. So this period saw the emergence of future Filipino leaders who were well educated and prepared for the they will prepared, well educated and well prepared to contribute the country's development or for the country's development. So next is the education under the Commonwealth. During the Commonwealth government, education was the top priority. President Quezon established the National Council of Education in 1936, leading to crucial improvements in the educational system. The era emphasized vocational and adult education, the development of national language, and the efforts to counter American cultural influence. So, President Quezon promoted native culture, Filipino values, and patriotism, including code of ethics for the youth. So, next is the education under the Japanese. So during the Japanese occupation, schools and churches were used for propaganda. Japanese language or the Nippongo became compulsory in schools and classes were held in government offices to promote Japanese culture. So Japanese Catholic priests were sent to convey Japan's friendship with Asian nations, including Filipinos. So, to bolster the image of Japan as a friendly force to Asian nations, Japanese Catholic priests were sent to the Philippines in order to foster a sense of solidarity and shared purpose. So the last one is educational trust of the new society and today. The core aim of education was seen as an unlocking individual potential while benefiting society. The direction of education as invention as invention by our educators can be best described by the following changes. A relevant and flexible curriculum, productive coordinated technocrats, a quality teacher with effective methods of teachings. These changes aim to create a more dynamic and responsive education system that could equip Filipinos with the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in a modernizing society. So in conclusion with my topic, the historical sociological foundations of education reveals a dynamic interplay between social forces and the development of educational systems. From ancient times, education has been shaped by cultural values, political structures, as well as in the economic realities. So that would be all and thank you for listening. Bye!